Welcome back. Pfizer winning the bidding war for obesity drug startup Metsera. The $10 billion deal allows the pharmaceutical giant to secure the rights to new weight loss treatments still in trials. This follows a months-long back and forth between Pfizer and Novo Nordisk, who were both bidding for this company. Pfizer says Metsera shareholders will see immediate and certain value. Pfizer shares this morning are down a fraction. Joining me now is the chairman and CEO of Pfizer, Albert Bourla. Albert, great to have you this morning. Thanks so much for being here.
Maria, what a great honor to be with your fantastic business show.
Oh, thank you so much. Congratulations on this deal. When would you expect that you can actually get the first weight loss or diabetes, obesity drugs out into the marketplace?
I think by the end of 2028, we should be in the market if things goes well. I think that around 10:30 today, this morning, we should be able to transfer the money and get the shares, so Metsera will be ours.
Wow. Well, congrats to you on that. This was a long and hard-fought battle back and forth between you and Novo Nordisk. And by the way, we don't even know if Novo was a real contender. You saw the letter from the Federal Trade Commission. They did not want an overseas company to acquire Metsera. So do you feel that perhaps you overpaid?
I think we paid more than what we had originally agreed, and that was the result of Novo's intervention. But the deal is a fantastic deal for Pfizer, of course, also for the shareholders of Metsera. But for Pfizer, it's a fantastic deal. And more importantly, it's for the American patients, because now this portfolio, probably the most complete portfolio of advanced anti-obesity medicines, will be in the hands of someone that really can compete. Lilly is a fantastic company. But Pfizer is not Novo. Pfizer is very strong and will be able to compete with Lilly, and that is beneficial for the American patients.
Yeah, certainly Lilly has really gotten a lock on this for a long time now, and this market is huge. Albert, what do you want to say about the GLP market? Could it be a $200 billion market for obesity?
There are people that are saying that, and there are people that they are saying a little bit less, but it's going to be huge. 150, I think it is probably very, very conservative estimate.
Yeah. Albert, your company, Pfizer, was first out of the gate with a drug pricing agreement in terms of working with the Trump administration. And I want to get your take on that as well. Let's talk broader about what's in the pipeline and what you can do in terms of getting prices lower. We just spoke with Dr. Mehmet Oz this week, the head of CMS, of course, and he talked to us about the Trump RX website as well as this new most favored nation pricing plan. Watch this.
This program allows all Americans to get access to drugs at a fraction of what they currently cost. Right now, drugs, if you buy them at list, is about $1,200, $1,300 a month. The drugs now are going to be about $125 on average. There are different tiers. We have a program to allow it to go to Medicaid patients called Generous that Abe Sutton created that is designed to allow governors now to dramatically drop the potential costs of these drugs for the Medicaid population.
So, Albert, tell us how you're working with the Trump administration to lower the price of prescription drugs and also about this most favored nation status pricing.
Maria, we take a lot of pride because we were the first. But I have to say who led the way is President Trump, because he's the one that came with a vision and he has the tenacity to make that happen. And I just heard my friend Dr. Oz, who was a fabulous, fabulous partner in trying to do that. Very tough negotiator, and we had very tough negotiations, but we did it in a spirit of trust. I think the Trump RX that he just spoke about it's a wonderful opportunity for the Americans to be able to receive medicines at a fraction, as he said, at the cost. And I think that is going to create a very positive momentum, and I think a lot of patients that were abandoning and the counter of the pharmacy, their scripts, because they couldn't afford them, now they will. So we will have more medicines into the hands of the patients and a healthier America.
And And of course, President Trump was talking about a direct-to-consumer way of doing things. That's why he talked about Trump RX. But Albert, you have that already at Pfizer, right? I think you can get your migraine drug, Nurtec, or maybe Paxlovid as well for COVID on the website. So how do you look at working with the administration on that direct-to-consumer? How will things change for Pfizer?
I think it's a great pride to be part of the Trump RX. And we will use the Pfizer for All, which is the website that consumers can get their Paxlovid or their Nurtec in terms of medicines and vaccines. We will be able to have a complete website with all the 40+ products that we are going to include in this Trump RX. Is going to be ready by December. So when Trump RX is launched, it will be able to send immediately those that they log into that website to our website so that we can take care of all of the logistics.
Albert, I know that you're going to give an earnings guidance call sometime in December, and you're looking ahead to 2026. Can you share with us, Albert, a bit about what you're thinking about for 2026 in terms of growth? Look, we're looking at a situation where, you were riding high during COVID. You came to the aid, and I want to thank, your engineers and your scientists for all the work that they did during this moment in time that we had. But now investors are questioning where the growth comes from now at Pfizer. So you've got to convince investors today that you've got a growth strategy in place. How do you see 2026 and beyond, Albert?
Yes, we were ready for this LOE wave. The products are losing patent in 26, 27, 28, probably $1.5 billion in 26, $4.5 billion in 27, and $6 billion plus in 28, and then we have a period of very strong growth. We were preparing for that period, and that's why we did significant number of acquisitions, including the last one, which is the Metsera one. We right now have newly launched products or recently acquired products that are expected to be in the zip code of $10 billion this year with double-digit growth. I think that's the growth driver of Pfizer's. Yes, we will have an LOE wave, but we will be able to offset a very big part of that, with, if not all, depends on the year. And we should be able to go through stability. On the same time, we are expanding our margins, and we are laser focus on getting off the LOE period with leading growth for the industry with all these assets that we have acquired and launched.
Yes, and you also have lots of agreements internationally as well, correct? In Europe?
Absolutely. We are a global company, as you know, and we are operating more than 140 countries.
Albert, President Trump has been trying to appeal to corporate America to try to get the supply chains here to America so that we are not reliant on communist China, our #1 adversary, for things like prescription drugs and the underlying components made in China and India. I know you have a lot of operations in the United States, but Albert, what can you tell us about weaning off of the reliance on international supply chains, Albert? Will there be a time when we can say we don't need to rely on China for the underlying components of prescription drugs?
Yeah. Right now, in the U.S., I need to set the record straight. We have 13 manufacturing capacities. 11 of them are in sterile injectables, some of the biggest manufacturing sites in the world, and we are very proud of it. The second is that Pfizer doesn't have a reliance on China. There are components and products that we are bringing from other countries, but not from China specifically. But I know that many, many companies, they do have. And I think that President Trump, like every other sovereign nation, is right to make sure that we have independence and we don't depend on the will of other nations. We have made an agreement with President Trump and with Secretary Latnik that we will get a break of tariffs, and in return we will invest to build even further our 11 sterile injectable manufacturing sites. For example, we will invest to build capacity for the Metsera acquisition, so the products will have ample capacity. We are very well positioned to do that, and probably we need less investment than other companies to do that because we have already invested in the U.S., but we are very committed to do that.
That is excellent. It's so great to hear because this has been an ongoing issue. And we learned more about that, by the way, during COVID. Look, you've got a very vibrant oncology business. Tell us about the oncology business and what kind of growth you're expecting there. Where are we in the fight on cancer?
We are very much advancing the fight against cancer. I'm very confident that we will knock it down. I think that the oncology investments are the biggest investments that we are doing right now, even bigger than obesity. We have acquired companies. We have a very strong pipeline. We are focusing on breast cancer with current medicines and new medicines that will make women less fearful of breast cancer. We are working on prostate cancer, which is also the cancer that affects more people in the male gender. The breast cancer, it is the more people in the female gender. We are working on colorectal cancer, which is on the rise, as you know, particularly on young people. We are working on lung cancer, which is the largest death of cancer because of cancer, and also in blood malignancies. And I think that we have entered a scientific renaissance. I think that the progress that we will see against cancer will be steady and will be impressive.
That is wonderful to hear. We're all wishing you great, great success in all of that, obviously. Let me end where I began, and that is on this Metsera deal and the obesity market. Right now, you're talking about a potential market of between $150 and $200 billion. Is the goal here, Albert, to get just a piece of that, which whatever piece it is it 3.5% or 5% of this market? Regardless, we're talking about a big business.
Look, 5% of this market is a very big deal, but Pfizer is not in a business of getting 5%. Pfizer, when it plays big. And we will, as we did in COVID, as we did with Lipitor, as we did with Norvasc, as we did with Viagra, as we did with all the medicines that we have invented and brought to the market, we will do the same with obesity. We have a very big portfolio that we acquired from Metsera. We have our own medicines, and we will continue building this portfolio. And we believe that we will be a formidable competitor in that market space.
That is wonderful. Albert, it's great to have you this morning. We so appreciate your time, and we'll be watching your work. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Maria.
All right. Albert Bourla, the CEO and chairman of Pfizer. We'll be right back. Stay with us.